Hey guys, so I finally just watched the last episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta. Forgive me, y'all, I'm on a different time zone. If you don't know, I'm actually in Asia right now. So, anywho, um, it seems like Bravo is definitely on Portia's side. I mean, that is their employee. She does have a big contract with them right now. But when I say they're on her side, they are throwing serious shade at Simon Guobadia, Portia's ex-husband, okay? They are like giving shade a whole tree. And it's making me wonder, does Bravo have beef with Simon? And let me spill some old tea if you don't know. It might be, well, if you know, then it's older. But if you don't know, here it is. So, guys, before the season actually even premiered, Simon was sending lawsuits and cease and desist to Bravo and NBC University because he was halting them from filming Portia's home, well, Portia and Simon's home. And if you guys remember, Portia could not film in that house the whole season because of all of the court back and forth. But Bravo, they spent a lot of money on production because they had already started filming in the house that Portia and Simon were living in. So, of course, a production company, they're going to be pissed because their goal with filming Portia was to film her lifestyle and her home. And Portia couldn't show that off. And on top of that, they had wasted so many days and footage and sending out producers and paying them to film in Portia's house, and they weren't even able to use that footage. So it was very pissy for a lot of them. Now, where they are showing their pettiness, I was watching the episode, guys, and they decided to show this. So, Portia won the settlement saying that she can film in the house, right? They decided to take 5 months later, guys, 5 months after they wrapped filming, they went back to Portia's and Simon's house and they wrote Portia and Simon's house in the description, showing off the outside of the home. Then they, oh my gosh, they changed it to just Portia's house. Like, that is some serious shade from a network, guys. I know it may seem small to a few people who don't get it, but they are literally telling Simon, this ain't your house no more. This is Portia's house. They were giving Portia a pedestal here, letting her paint her narrative. Now, in court paperwork, and I have seen it, I am a journalist, not a YouTuber. Well, I am a YouTuber. No, I ain't no journalist like Portia. But, guys, in the actual court paperwork, this is a premarital home that Simon purchased before these two were even married, solely in his name. But due to them having a prenup, and Portia's lawyer insisted that she remain in the house for up to 3 years from the divorce starting till, it's done. So Portia has about a year and a half left in that house, or a little bit less. And it is not Portia's house. So that is pretty shady of Bravo. It is not Portia's house. Simon is the one that pays all the bills on it still. And yes, he is not living there, but you can't say that's just Portia's house because Portia hasn't put in a dime on that house. And her name is not on it. But either way, it got a little bit worse, guys. I don't even want to say a little bit. Bravo got a lot more shady because in the end, they spoke about these two trying to wrap up their divorce, but Simon got put into ICE custody. And then they have the nerve to say the divorce is on ICE, like I.C.E, ICE, like in ICE custody. They were throwing shade at Simon. And I'm going to be honest, guys, I have heard rumors. I can't confirm them. I'm just going to say alleged. I have heard rumors that, I don't want to say NBC or Bravo, but someone up there in the higher ups in the company, they were helping Porsha with this whole thing with Simon, and they specifically set him up before the show could air. That way they didn't have to deal with, any more lawsuits coming or Simon countering anything and basically just harming the show's efforts. And I do find it very much of a coincidence that Simon ended up getting captured by ICE literally right before the show premiered. And if you guys remember, Simon was waiting on the show to premiere because he was going to air everything out. And he had even legally threatened Bravo a few times that if he even saw his Rolls Royce in the show, he was going to sue, because they weren't supposed to film his Rolls Royce either that he let Porsha use. And I say let her use because sure, it seems like a gift, but in reality, if you put something in your name only down to even the license plates and the tag type, every single thing, that's not really a gift. That's more like a little control effort, or you're not losing control. You can seize that Rolls Royce at any time you want to. And I heard that Porsha is supposed to give it back, but anywho, well, not give it, I heard that it's literally no tag. I don't know what she's gonna do, but either way, I'm confused. I am confusion. You guys, Bravo, NBC, this doesn't look good. I'm being honest. Do you guys think that they would do this to maybe a Caucasian family or couple? I don't know. And a lot of people feel like it was very weird that they did this. They could have remained neutral and not really spoke on Simon, because it's been very clear that Simon did not want to be talked about nor his assets filmed, and they did it anyway. It does seem a bit messy. And then for them to throw that shade, taking out Simon's name out of that's his house, and then making fun of his ICE custody status. I don't know. How do you guys feel about that? Because I'm not gonna lie, if I was Simon, I would be crushed. You married someone, and sure, let's just say it was a transactional relationship where both of you guys knew what it was. You're the sugar daddy and she's the gold digger. Okay, fine. Deep down, I feel like low-key Simon thought that Porsha really was going to be in love with him. I think so. Because he didn't even seem that hurt about him and Fallon breaking up. He didn't seem hurt. But when him and Porsha first broke up, or she announced her leaving him, he was like, oh, I'm going to fight for my wife. He loved this woman. And I even saw messages where he was pretty much still trying to fight for his marriage. And Porsha was leaving him in the cold. She wouldn't tell him why she wanted a divorce. Me personally, allegedly, I could see that whole article coming out about Simon's immigration status and stuff. Literally the next day it was, I think, Porsha filed for divorce. I wouldn't be surprised if it was her who put that article out, or her team, allegedly. So I just feel like he did low-key get the lower end of the stick when it comes to him and Porsha. I think that she didn't want him. Like he said, he might have been a target, but at the same time, he's old enough to know better. You should have had a better prenup, like how you did with all those other women. I think the difference is, you really wanted to be with Porsha, so you kind of did some things that you probably would not have normally done. You got engaged way too fast. He did admit that. I think he really fell for her. She's a beautiful woman, and she does have a fun personality when she presents that, guys. So either way, Bravo, I'm a little bit disappointed. I think that you guys could have just, I don't know, maybe even given it more time. If Porsha's still in the house next season, go ahead. But you guys literally went out of your way 5 months after filming to show off this house that Porsha's dying to show off. Mind you, Porsha looked dumb trying to show off that house. She had on She had on full glam while using the treadmill in the house. And this really reminds me of that first episode this season because they couldn't film in the house, so they had to make up random scenes with Porsha. And Porsha was out in the city running in a, I don't even know when she had on like some purple sports bra. But this is the funny part. She had her hair curled, like literally heat curled, all the way down to her butt and a full face of makeup, and she's outside in Atlanta running. Girl, what the? Mind you, it was like spring or summer when they started filming. So it's like, what the hell? What? Who are you trying to convince that you be working out? I don't know, but just save the dramatics, please. It it just looks so forced. Like, I don't know. Portia's changed a lot. I feel like in her earlier seasons, I think stuff was real back then with her to an extent. Not everything, but I think she tried to show off some genuine scenes. Like I remember her cooking with her her niece, and I think she did used to work out for real when she was with Cordell. She looked very different back then. But these little forest scenes ain't cutting it. Bravo. Y'all ain't fooling nobody. Y'all want to get back at Simon, allegedly, because y'all felt like he tried you guys. I mean, that's the first time I've heard of a husband going out of his way to, stop a network, stop a production from filming in his house. I mean, Simon was playing chess at one point, really. Like, they were giving Porsha so many random quick scenes in that last 2 minutes. Like, Portia's walking around with a crown on her head at 45 years old, looking like she's trying to play dress up in her mom's room. They could have kept that. They could have kept it. She made herself look more and more corny and thirsty. It's just not cute. It's not, and I'm not a hater, guys. I'm just a stater. Like, I'm stating the truth. That's not a good look. If you care about your image, truthfully, stop the gold digger crap. It doesn't look nice, okay? If you're going to be acting like you were really married, just leave it at that. Or if you really were genuinely married, leave it at that. What's up with all this fighting over a house that you know you're not going to own? I don't get it. I don't get it. And bravo, I don't know. But anywho, that's enough of that, guys. Let me know if I should review that last episode of Housewives. To me, that season was a drag. And I'm being so honest, guys. Like, it was not interesting to me. I can't wait for the reunion. I hope the reunion is much better. But this season has been a drag. Nothing, I can't, like, the main storyline was crushed. What's her name? Kenya and Britt. They separated those two, it was just a lot of things that were lacking. Porsha, no one's really holding her accountable for whatever happened with her and Simon. We didn't really get much between Britt and Kenya because that ended abruptly. Shamia's been horrible this season. She started off good, or at least we thought she was going to be. And her true colors really revealed themselves. I wish that Drew would have stepped on these ladies' necks more. It was a lot. Phaedra, I don't know what Phaedra brought. I don't know what the point of bringing her for the last few days of filming was for. I can't say she brought much besides, ooh, wow, let me tell you what so-and-so said. Girl, what the hell did you, like, it was the same thing with Married to Medicine. You didn't bring nothing. And bravo, if you guys are listening, please pay attention because y'all might be watching this one. If you're going to have people like Porsha and Phaedra back on the show and you guys are paying them all that money, make them do some work. Porsha did nothing this whole... Her and Shamia, between that whole, we're not going to talk about certain things. And listen, we wanted to know how the hell did Porsha and Dennis make up after she assaulted him and his mom in Mexico. Can we talk about that? Can we talk about how she got up with that former castmate's husband and then married him or engaged him when he was still married? let's talk about the real stuff that fans want to know, because you guys keep pampering up Porsha and this girl doesn't want to talk about the stuff that the fans want to watch, and then y'all wonder why the ratings are dropping. They're dropping. They're not good. You guys don't want to talk about what we have seen already. Okay? Shamia and Porsha and this whole fake, trust me guys, these two have talked more about their issues off camera than on camera. That's why we are confused this final episode. Where's the big blow up? Because we didn't see it. It all happened off camera. So it's like we get little pieces and hints and we're curious, and it's like, where is it? Well, we don't see it because you guys still reward people like Porsha and Shamia, giving them front seat, knowing darn well they weren't fully disclosing what they should have disclosed as reality TV stars that they're paid to do. But y'all like this video, please subscribe. That helps me continue building my channel. Again, I'm in Asia right now, guys. I can't say when I'm going to be back in the States. I'm not on no immigration like Simon. Sorry, that I didn't have to. See, now I'm shading Simon on accident. Sorry, Simon. But I can't say when I'll be back in the States, but bear with me, guys. Sometimes my time may be a little bit off, but I am working on it. And I am building this channel because this is fun, and I feel like there's very few real people who are going to speak the truth on YouTube. So I'm going to do it for you guys. Well, y'all be safe. Enjoy your weekend. Remember, this is just a TV show, so try not to get too upset, guys, when it comes to how you feel about certain castmates and everyone having different opinions. At the end of the day, we all watch the show. We all enjoy it to an extent. So we should be able to share our views and come together and think about it. But I really want y'all in the comments so I can also hear something, because maybe my perspective isn't always right either. But y'all be safe, guys. Peace.